On the news at 1. Minister of State Finance pledges commitment to tax utilization for development. FCT Executive Council approves contract for provision of critical infrastructure. Plus, coalition of FCT indigenous people protest non-inclusion in the board of North Central Development Commission.
Glad to have you join us on the news at 1 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. I am Mariam Abubakar Kana. As Nigeria embarks on a new chapter in its tax reform system, the government's commitment to transparency, fairness, and tax utilization for development is poised to yield significant benefits for the nation's economy and citizens. Minister of State for Finance, Doris Uzoka-Aniete, reassures of this commitment during the 2025 Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria 27th Conference in Abuja. Hawa Gimba reports.
Representing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Doris Uzoka Aniete, reiterated the administration's commitment to comprehensive tax reforms. The initiative aims to establish a robust, transparent, and equitable tax system that fosters entrepreneurship, alleviates poverty, and propels national development. At the 27th Annual Conference of the Chartered Institute of Taxation, themed Taxation for Development, Policies, Law, and Implementation, Dr. Aniete underscores the government's endeavors to revamp and modernize Nigeria's tax administration and legal framework.
As you know, when citizens pay tax and achieve their civic responsibility, government has revenue to build roads, provide infrastructure, build schools, pay for services, social infrastructure that keeps the economy going, and that is what alleviates poverty.
Taiwo Oyedele, chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, emphasized that the committee's establishment and the enactment of the economic stabilization bills into law are pivotal steps towards streamlining the tax system and expanding the tax base.
We are reforming the personal income tax system, and this would include exemption for low-income earners. It will include the ability to formalize informal sector. It will include removing reliefs and allowances. And many people do not understand this. Even many tax professionals have complained. They say, why did you remove all our personal relief and allowances?
Tax professionals say a well-designed tax system is crucial for financing government operations, promoting accountability, and ensuring sustainable development, adding that strategies, utilization of technology and data analysis can enhance tax compliance and improve service delivery.
The outcome of the reform is what we are going to be experiencing thereafter, which is for better Nigeria, to have more money, to be able to have an inclusive system where everybody is dragged into the tax net.
Once Nigeria is good, everybody will be good. And so we appreciate what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done, his initiative about the tax reform bill. We have supported this bill from day one, and we keep on marketing it because we have seen professionally.
The conference served as a platform for tax experts, policymakers, and stakeholders from across Nigeria's 36 states, including the FCT, to deliberate on tax impacts on the economy and strategies to strengthen tax institutions, augment revenue, and enhance the living standard of Nigerians. Hawa Gimba, NTA News.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration has approved contracts for the provision of critical infrastructure within the nation's capital. The 2.6 billion naira contract approval was granted during the 14th Exco meeting held at the Minister's official residence at the Life Camp. Onoze Yakubu has the details.
Contract for the upgrade of obsolete street lights on the Nnamdi Azikiwe Expressway, otherwise known as Ring Road 1, and the construction of one block of magistrate court in the Maitama district, as well as the provision of pedestrian access control at interchanges, are among other projects that received the approval of the FCT ESCO. The FCDA Executive Secretary Richard Yunana Dauda gives more insights of the meeting.
The street light there have been there for close to 15 years now. The project was completed around 2005 or 6, and the lights have become obsolete. They are no more bright, and new technology have come for the street lighting. And so the hybrid system is going to be deployed there to brighten the place and make it more secure and more motorable in the night. We already have about 8 lots of such going on. It includes fencing out with mesh wire, the interchanges, the green areas in the interchanges and loops, and those as well as providing walkways at the interchanges.
The Abuja Metropolitan Management Council also got approval for the ratification and award of contract for the operation and maintenance of Apo Erector and the extension of service contracts for the operation and maintenance of WUPA Basic Sewage Treatment Plant, among other projects.
We also seek and got approval for the extension of service contracts for the provision of solid waste collection and management services for 40 delegated districts in FCT for a period of 2 months. All these 3 approvals put together gave us almost a total of about 2.6 billion naira.
19 memos were examined, critically examined, and approved under the watch of the Honorable Minister. These 19 memos are memos intended to continue to deepen the infrastructural development and the upgrade of our great city, Abuja, and its environment.
The 14th FCT ESCO meeting was chaired by the FCT Minister Yeson Wiki. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
The FCT Health and Environmental Services Secretariat has identified key barriers to improving hypertension management in Nigeria, to include inadequate financing for non-communicable diseases, low health literacy of populace, amongst others. They made the submissions as they commemorate the 2025 Hypertension Day. Tessie O'Mary tells us more.
An estimated 1.13 billion people aged between 30 and 79 worldwide are reported to have hypertension, and 46% of adults with hypertension are unaware of their condition, making it a silent killer. These stakeholders from the FCT Health and Environment Services Secretariat, Public Health Department, WHO, and AEPB, among other critical partners, are strengthening awareness in the danger of untreated high blood pressure as the world commemorates the day, owing to its high prevalence, especially in Nigeria. Director of Public Health, Dr. Dan Gadzama, and other speakers say the importance of regular and accurate blood pressure check is to reduce preventable deaths.
For the FCT residents, like the health talk which Dr. Ayola gave, to cut down salt intake, to have regular exercises and have appropriate diet, and as much as possible to avoid stress if one can manage to do that.
Hypertension is a silent killer, and the more educated we are about how to prevent it, the better for us.
Mandate Secretary, Health and Environment Services Secretariat, Dr. Adedolapo Fashawi, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary Babagana Adam, reveals that while awareness of hypertension is improving, treatment and control rate remains low, hence the need for residents not to relent in taking action.
Like they say, you need to know, and when you know early, it saves a lot of life. So just make it a habit that you can buy it, walk to the doctor or walk to any health facility near you, private or governmental, and know your numbers. Your health is wealth. So if we have good parameters of hypertension, it means we'll have healthy and fit people that can contribute to the economic development of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
This year's theme is Measure Your Blood Pressure Accurately, Control It, Live Longer. The day was also marked with free medical checks and health talks.
Now, hypertension affects millions of Nigerians, many of whom are not aware of their situation until it becomes a serious case. And it leads to so many complications. Experts are saying, why not take advantage of opportunity to check your BP? It takes little or nothing to do that. Prevention, they say, is better than cure. I have checked mine. How about you? In Abuja, Tessie Omeri, NTA News.
Many people love honey, but they may not be fond of its producers, small, tiny insects that sting and cause pain. However, these insects play a crucial role in our survival. Bees, though small, are mighty. They enable the production of over 70% of global crops, including vegetables, fruits, and nuts through the process of pollination. As the world observes Global Bee Day, Ramatu Abdullahi interacted with some beekeepers to learn more about these remarkable insects.
The relationship between bees and their keepers is fascinating. Beekeepers provide shelter by constructing artificial beehives. They invite the bees by enticing them to inhabit the hives.
Then we can use bee products like the beeswax to just rub it on it. Then these bees can sense it and then come there, and before you know it, they'll be coming one by one. Before you know it, all of them will now come.
Beekeepers emphasize the importance of choosing a suitable location for their hives. They consider factors such as sunlight, proximity to water. I, as a reporter, going to report the bees, I had to be fully kitted to protect myself from their attack. And an amazing fact I have discovered also is that the honey that is being harvested is actually their food they preserved over time for themselves and their young ones.
And we have to be checking to know what's the condition of those bees in your hive.
Beekeeper Amin Muhammad noted that an average beehive can produce up to 15 liters of honey, a liquid valued for its numerous health benefits.
We actually have three groups in the hive. We have the queen. The queen is the one that produces the eggs, and we have the drones. The drones are the males. They are the ones that service the queen to reproduce the eggs.
Beekeeping contributes to the growth and preservation of the bee population, which is essential not only for the production of honey, wax, and other bee products, but more importantly, for the survival of humanity.
But we have larger proportion of honey bees being involved in pollination of flowers. And when I said flowers, balls, for trees, and even the crops we eat. So you see, it's very fundamental that we have to care.
The theme for World Bee Day 2025 is Bees Inspired by Nature to Nourish Us All. Ramatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
You are watching the news at 1 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. We take a quick break now. The news continues shortly.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
I will celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
The news station NTA Channel 5 Abuja would say have a lovely day.
Thanks for staying tuned. The FCT National Orientation Agency is set to explore strategic partnership with the media. A delegation from the agency led by Director Acharo Palua visit to NTA Channel 5 management is a step to actualizing mutual agreements. Hawa Gimba reports that the visit aims at promoting NOA's core values and mission, enabling the agency to reach a broader audience, especially FCT residents.
Led by the Director, FCT National Orientation Agency, Acharu Opalwa, and other top management of the agency, this is an indication towards promoting national values and developments, emphasizing that with Nigerian television, the agency's message will be amplified, reaching more FCT residents and fostering a stronger sense of national orientation.
We can achieve this together because at the moment we are going to begin our activities to promote peace and unity in the nation. So as long as we bring out our activities, we pass them on to you here, we have similar duties. Ours is to bring them here, yours is to disseminate the information, to spread the information to the larger public, just as we are bringing them out to you. So I think we can work together. We're working on the national values and it's a gradual process. There are changes. We have the present administration, the present Director General has come up with a blueprint which is going to be launched any moment from now on how we're going to promote our national values. It is tagged to the National Values Charter.
Responding to the visit, the General Manager, NTA Channel 5 Abuja, Paul Ate, says the partnership will go a long way to build unity and peace in FCT with strong messages of hope as well as educational program that showcases unity.
Without mixing any word, all the requests are granted. By God's grace, we'll be here for you, and God Almighty that put you here, put you there as the director, will see you through. But in our little way, we'll contribute our own quota to see to your success.
The agency is also poised to promoting patriotism among citizens and fostering a sense of civic responsibility. Hawa Gimba, NTA News.
As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark International Day of Cultural Diversity, it is imperative to have indicators towards national cohesion, unity, and a common ground for peaceful coexistence among Nigerians through cultural understanding. Moses Kuye in this report explores some of these possibilities.
Experts say one of the common grounds in breeding healthy coexistence and cultural unity among Nigerians is through understanding of our cultural diversities.
We as Africans, we should be able to portray our culture, our heritage as best as possible, and it's only because the authenticity lies in us.
Has Nigeria's cultural diversities been a blessing? How can Nigeria as a nation maximize our cultural advantages peculiar to heterogeneous nations?
We're going to have of ignoring the cultural heritage is loss of history. We're going to lose track of our history. We're going to lose track of where we're coming from, what it means to us. And losing track of your background will hinder your future, where you're going to, where am I currently. You need to know where you're coming from to be able to stay in the present and forge forward.
Traveling to the village, preparing our local dishes. We're Nupe by tribe. Kube Laji. It means good morning. Kube Gidi, good afternoon.
You are being dressed like this, and that is what differentiates us from other tribes.
Sabai, honor of Abaji, honor.
The role of stakeholders cannot be undermined in helping to project the nation in good light, as Nigeria continues to explore its cultural potentials, richness, and endowment. Every May 21st, Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark International Day for Cultural Diversity. Moses Kuye, NTA News.
The coalition of FCT indigenous people have taken their cry in what they refer to as exclusion of indigenous representatives from the nomination into the board of North Central Development Commission to the National Assembly through a peaceful protest. The group at the gate of the National Assembly met with stiff resistance by security personnel. Abdullahi Ajia reports on the protest, which later turned rowdy.
In their hundreds, the indigenous people from the 9 tribes that are original inhabitants of the FCT converged to further amplify their voices and disagreement with the nomination of Solomon Adodo to represent the FCT in the board of the North Central Development Commission. The peaceful protest, which began from the Eagle Square to the National Assembly entrance gate, saw many speakers from the coalition making their demands, including their desire to submit a letter of protest to the Speaker House of Representatives.
We want to tell the President to come to our aid as our father, as the father of the nation, as a peace-loving man that we know him to be, as an equitable and fair man that we know Mr. President to be. The President constituted this regional government so that we'll be able to get development within our rural areas. He wants to take governance to grassroots.
Section 2 sub 1b of the Act stated clearly that there shall be an indigene of each state that constitutes where that commission is being established, which is the North Central. So it is expected that FCT indigene should represent the FCT people in the board. But to our greater dismay, we saw Solomon Adodo representing FCT. And that is why we are here today at National Assembly to talk to them, to complain to them, and to tell them that we are not happy with this thing.
His representation is just an addition to the people of Benue State and not a representative of the FCT. We are here to ask for justice.
After several hours of waiting and complete barricade of the gate, additional security mobilization dispersed the protesting crowd with tear gas as the protesters took to their hills for safety. The FCT natives said they will not be deterred by this development as they resolve to strategize to get justice. In Abuja, Abdullahi Ajia, NTA News.
As Nigeria joins the global commemoration of World Tea Day, many are reflecting on the simple comfort that a warm cup of tea brings. They say whether taking black, milky or infused with herbs and spice, tea remains one of the most widely enjoyed beverage around the globe. In Abuja, our correspondent Rabiat Shaib set out to ask tea lovers a simple but revealing question. What would a perfect cup of tea be and why? That report will come in our subsequent bulletin. Up next is global news. Update from our foreign desk.
Indeed, many thanks. 2 Israeli embassy staff shot dead. And UN says Gaza aid yet to reach civilians as pressure mounts on Israel. This is the Global Foreign News segment that keeps you updated with happenings around the world. I am Serafina Okon. Let's begin with happenings from the Gaza Strip. The United Nations says that no aid has been distributed into Gaza despite aid lorries starting to cross the border after 11 weeks of blockade. Israeli officials have said that 93 trucks entered Gaza on days ago carrying aid such as flour, medical equipment, and pharmaceutical drugs. But the UN said that despite trucks reaching the Palestinian side of the Kilim Shalom crossing, no aid has been distributed so far. As sources said, the team waited for several hours for Israel to allow them to access the area, but were unable to get the supplies into warehouses. Meanwhile, 2 Israeli embassy staff have been shot dead, leaving at an event at the Capital Jewish Museum in downtown Washington, D.C. Officials say the suspect has been identified as a 30-year-old alias Rodriguez. Now, police say he shouted "Free Palestine" after being taken into custody, and officers will look into the ties to potential terrorism. Now, US President Donald Trump has described the incident as very sad and based obviously on anti-Semitism, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says security will be increased for Israeli representatives and at diplomatic missions worldwide. South African President Ramaphosa rebukes discredited claims of white genocide in South Africa as US President confronts him in his Oval Office. A meeting meant to soothe tensions between America and South Africa instead spiraled as President Donald Trump has put his counterpart on the defensive, which claims that white farmers in his nation were being killed and prosecuted. Barely a week after the U.S. granted asylum to nearly 60 Afrikaners, as move that rattled the South African president, Cyril Ramaphosa, when he visited the White House to reset the country's relations. And that's a wrap on the globe. Stay for the continuation of the news. I am Serafina Okon.
Let's join our sports desk for updates in the sporting world.
Athletes representing states and FCT have continued to prove their mettle at the 22nd National Sports Festival in Ogun State. As at the last check of the Day 4 encounter, Team FCT made impressive strides with 9 medals across multiple sporting events. The breakdown shows that the FCT has 3 gold, 2 silver, and 4 bronze medals, while hoping for additional medals. This development, Director of FCT Sports, Luca Estefanos, attributed to investment in grassroots sports development over time, as he expressed pride in the athletes. Meanwhile, Team Bayelsa is still leading on the medals tally. Delta is second, Osun third, Rivers is fourth, while Lagos comes fifth. Talking football, Kwara United will now battle Abakaliki FC in the final of the 2025 President Federation Cup. Both teams proved their worth through the rounds and semi-finals, defeating big names and powerhouses in Nigerian football. Kwara United beat Enugu Rangers 1-0, while Abakaliki FC, a second division team, sent Ikorodu City packing with a 5-4 penalty shootout after a goalless draw in the semi-final. The winner between these two is assured of a potential continental slot.
To Bentoncourt. Cross is whipped in and there's a real chance and Johnson has scored.
Still on football, Brennan Johnson's goal was enough to make a historic night for Tottenham Hotspur in Bilbao after the 1-0 victory over Manchester United secured the Europa League title and a Champions League spot for the North London side. The high-stakes all-English clash was full of great moments during regulation time that ended leaving the Red Devils more frustrated with their hope of an European competition dashed. Spurs' victory put an end to a 41 years waiting for an European trophy. With Sports Brief, Abdullah Hajia, NTA News.
Thank you very much for watching the news at 1 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Do join us at 7 p.m. for more news. Good afternoon.